Hello, hello, my beloved souls. Blessed be, blessed day. I'm Autumn, the Enlightened Daughter. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I love you all. So quick message, really quickly. You guys know, or some of you may know, that I work with weather, right? I'm a big weather goddess, amongst other things. And yesterday there was like a huge storm brewing right before I went to go get my daughter. And so I was like, oh, maybe I should just call one of my peoples to go get her. And as I was about to make those calls, I heard very clearly, like, the rain has a message for you. And I was like, oh, okay, like, no problem. I work with weather all the time. Me and Gaia are very close, right? So I grabbed an umbrella, changed out of my work pants, throw on some jeans. I'm like, all right, let me like make this trip to go get my daughter. And it looked crazy. Like when I was inside the house, it looked crazy. But I know that like they wouldn't make me uncomfortable outside. Like the rain has a message for me, but it wasn't to make me like uncomfortable and miserable and wet and just like feeling like a wet cat. So go outside, call one of my boys who's a super high vibrational being, right? He's an amazing divine masculine who's starting to work with weather and connect with Gaia in that way. And because of like the velocity of the storm and everything that was going on, I like called him. I'm like, "Are you working with like your weather magic and just kind of like experimenting? Because like, what the hell is happening outside?" And he's like, "No, it's not me." And I'm like, "Cool, all right, done." I was like, "Let me get off the phone, focus, tune into Gaia, see what they have for me." So I tune into the rain and I'm like, all right, what's this message? Like, why did I need to walk out here, to get like drenched for this message? And I love the rain. Like, don't get me wrong. Sun showers are probably my favorite weather, right? Like, I look forward to sun showers. They just delight my soul, right? And so whenever I'm feeling like dejected or sad or like frustrated or whatever, like God will bless me with a sun shower just to like change my vibration, right? It's really that quick. So I'm outside. I'm like, all right, what's going on? And then they just showed me like very clearly. I think it's in the book of Matthew. I want to say like Matthew 5, where it says the sun will shine, will rise every day on evil and good, right? Like the rains will fall on the just and unjust alike. And so the message that was coming through was, imagine trying to dodge a raindrop, right? Like you're walking outside, you're trying to dodge a raindrop, and you move from one raindrop just to realize that you just got hit with like 10 or 15 others, right? Because that's how fast it's coming. Whether we're living our life high vibrational or low vibrationally, right? There are blessings and there's abundance and there's healing and there's health and there's wholeness and there's love. There's peace and there's harmony available to all of us because we're all children of the divine, right? It says that very clearly um, in the good book. And so it's a matter of just like being aware, one, that you're a child of the divine, being aware that you have blessings and miracles and grace available to you every single day. There's never a point where God is not pouring into us, right? There's never a point where our teams of light, our angels and our ancestors are not trying to connect with us. There's never a stop of the flow on their end. The flow stops on our end, right? It's about whether or not we're able to receive it. It's about whether or not we're open to it. It's about whether or not we're going to have an awareness of it. So think about rain. Think about like a torrential downpour, right? And there's like, I mean, let's not, let's dial it back. It doesn't have to be a torrential downpour. Think about just it's raining outside, right? Like there's kind of like three types of people in the rain, right? And I'm generalizing, but for the most part, it's these three types of people. They're the people that are miserable and gonna complain and act like they're gonna die if they get wet and hit with rainwater, like they're gonna freaking melt, right? And they're just gonna be miserable. They're gonna stay inside. It's gonna ruin their day. There's that type of person, right? There's a person that's gonna suck it up and get out there and do what they need to do. They may not be happy about it, but they're not gonna let the rain stop their flow, right? And then there are people like me who are like, fuck the umbrella, and we're like singing and dancing in the rain, right? So imagine the rain showering down upon you, your abundance, right? Your blessings. Let's say your abundance that you're calling in right now is an abundance of money, right? And imagine it's raining all this money down on you, right? And imagine you're just trying to dodge it, like, oh no, I don't want that dollar. I'm trying to wait for something bigger. But as you're moving back and forth through all of these energies, right? It's still coming. It's coming. And it's not just coming for you, it's coming for everyone because you're outside, right? And everyone is under the same shower. Everyone's receiving the same blessing at the same time, but not everyone is going to receive the same amount. Why? Because some people are going to stay inside. They don't want to get wet at all. They don't want to be bothered. right? And so maybe they'll come out a little later and there'll be like a little rain shower real quick where they'll get wet or they step into a puddle. And that's kind of how they're coming into their blessings, right? Kicking and screaming, not really happy. And even if the blessing does come, it's going to make them a little bit miserable, right? Because it's not exactly how they wanted it. No, they needed it to be perfect. And then there's the other people, right, that are gonna suck it up and they've got their umbrellas and their galoshes on and they have a freaking attitude because it's raining, because it might be a little messy and a little dirty, and that's happens sometimes with our blessings, right? Like our blessings can often come in a way that don't look the way that we want them to look, right? Like it's like, oh, I want the perfect divine counterpart, right? They need to be tall and thin and dark haired and, have like a six-figure income. And, we have all these freaking requirements. And then we meet the perfect person and they're short and they're a little pudgy. And no, they're not making six figures. Maybe they only make like 80 or 90,000 a year, right? And they have the biggest heart and they love you beyond measure, right? And you would have never thought and never made the connection or never given them a chance otherwise, right? It's just because the packaging was wrong. And it doesn't mean that the blessing wasn't for you. It just means it came in a different package, right? And so maybe it might be a little messy, might be a little dirty, might be a little wet, right? You might be slightly inconvenienced, but you're still receiving your blessing. And then there are those of us that are just super open and we're like, yes, bring it on. Shower me, pour it down. Like, let me get a bucket and a cup and I want all the shits, right? I don't care if my feet get wet and my hair gets wet and my makeup gets ruined. I don't care about any of that because I know that this is for me. I know that this is delicious. I know that I can receive this. I know that it's extraordinary, right? And so the rain was just being very clear yesterday about like, we block ourselves from our blessings, right? There's all the grace that's available to us in heaven. I think I talked to you guys about this the other day. And we have it available to us, but we have to ask, right? You guys, free will planet, right? Again, the flow from the heavens is not whatever stops. We stop the flow from receiving it, right? We block our own blessings. So it's time for us to get out of our own way, right? To put the umbrellas down, to maybe take the raincoats off, right? Maybe go out in the rain and be a little barefoot in the grass, right? And connect with Gaia and the rains and the winds all at the same time, right? It was huge lightning storms coming in yesterday. I mean, huge cracks of lightning. And lightning always represents power, right? Like, think about how powerful that one lightning bolt can be, and you don't know where it's going and you don't know what it's going to hit, right? And that is like how the power and the magic that we have within us. And when we learn to utilize those energies and to control and to focus our power, we can change the world. We really can. And it starts with you changing yourself. It starts with you being open to your own blessings and your grace and the miracles that are available for you, right? Jesus says in the Course of Miracles, it's not that miracles are rare, is that we think that they're rare because we have chosen not to open ourselves up to it every day, right? Like we have the capability of living a miraculous life. And it really starts by setting the intention every day that I'm open to living a miraculous life. I'm open to receiving God's miracles manifesting in my life right now, right? Like I'm open to receive a life that is filled with grace and ease and flow, right? And I'm asking for God's grace in every area of my life. And connect. You know what I mean? Pay attention to the weather patterns around you. Weather is based off of human emotions. There's certain parts of the world that don't get really fucked up weathers and they don't have all these illnesses and the traumas that we have here in like first world countries because they're not dealing with this low vibrational energy, right? And so raise your vibration. Literally, as I was receiving these downloads yesterday, some of the messages were coming in quick and some of them were fading away. But as soon as I got clearly the message and understood the rains fall on the just and the unjust alike, like there's no dodging the things that are meant for you, right? And we say that often. It's like the things that are meant for us are for us. Your blessing is not going to go to someone else because it's your blessing. So if somebody else is receiving something, then that shit wasn't for you, or they're not going to be able to hold on to it because it's not for them. It's like being in a relationship with someone who doesn't want to be with you. Like it might work for a little while, it might be all flattering and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be long lasting because that person wasn't meant for you. Y'all are not in alignment. You know what I mean? It's like we're on two different pages here. So as soon as that cleared up, and as soon as that message came through, which was super heavy and intense, and I loved it, the skies opened up. Literally. Like I was walking down the street. Again, I'm a big fan of sun showers. I don't mind walking in the rain and getting wet. I don't want to like die out there and get pneumonia or whatever, but I love the rain. As soon as the message came through, sun came back out, skies opened up, and rain stopped. And I was like laughing because I'm like, no one would really believe this. You know what I mean? Like you have to be like super tapped in and aware and comfortable with yourself to understand how the universe is speaking to you. I love working with weather. I love working with storms. It's one of the biggest things that I do, right? And I know wherever, tell people all the time, wherever I'm at in the world, if some big energetic shift is going down, it's going to rain wherever I'm at, guaranteed. So whenever I start to see the storms brewing, I'm like, okay, cool, let me get ready. What are we working on? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? I know we're like, I think we're still in Taurus season, heading into Gemini. When's Gemini season start? We might have already started and I might not have been paying attention. Okay, so yeah, so we're in Gemini season, right? So we have the beautiful energy of the twins, right? Like really balancing things out, that polarity we got going on. Plus we just had that new moon in Taurus, right? And I wasn't looking at any of that stuff, although it's all starting to like click, 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 click. It makes sense. But it's really just paying attention, right? Getting out into nature and connecting with nature. How is God speaking to you, right? How are you connecting with your teams of light? How are you connecting, I just saw 1111, with the other side of the veil? Right? Whether that's the angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides, spirit animals, galactic star family, the ascended masters, the guardian angels, right? The archangels, whomever you resonate with on the other side of the veil. How are you getting that connection? Because again, it's not that they're never not here with us, it's us blocking it. So how can you open yourself up to that, right? And it starts by taking down the barriers, right? Allowing yourself to be open to receive, not being scared to get a little wet, a little messy, a little dirty, right? Knowing that this blessing is coming in for you, divinely guided, divinely gifted to you, right? And behind it is going to come this strength and this magnitude and this power, just like the lightning strike, right? And so whatever it is that you're manifesting at this time, because I see that I was looking at the moon last night and I see that we're still really in this midst of like a big creative portal. And a lot of that energy is focused on love, money, and your home, right? And so it's a matter of like, how can I hone these beautiful energies and just like focus them into the thing that I'm trying to manifest, right? And then allow myself to receive those blessings in whatever form they come. So we take all the power of our energy and our thought and our heart and our soul. We combine it up like the elements do with the lightning, and we allow that focus, right? That one powerful focus to just hone in on whatever it is that we're trying to manifest in this universe, right? Obviously for our highest and greatest good and the highest and greatest good of all, right? And with that focused energy, boom, we put it out into the universe. We let the lightning strike hit where it needs to hit and watch what happens, right? And allow ourselves to receive the blessings. Not only are we putting things out in prayer, but we have to be open to receive the messages through meditation and the signs and synchronicities. So whatever you've been putting out into the universe, just start really paying attention and tapping into what the universe is trying to tell you about that manifestation. I'm telling you guys, it's getting deep, it's getting crazy. We're building up towards the 8-8 portal in August, right? The Lions Gate, and the energies are just ramping up at this time. So do what you can to get into nature. Do what you can to stay grounded, whether that's putting your feet in some grass or in the dirt, or going for taking a salt bath, or getting out into the oceans and the lakes, or a walk in the park, whatever it is, right? Like get outside, get into nature, get really grounded. Because as we ascend, and as our minds expand and our hearts expand and our souls expand, we have to remember that we're still in this 3D reality and we're still on this earth, right? We came here, we incarnated to be on this dense planet. Don't forget that part. All right. So anyway, get out into nature, connect, see what messages the rains, the thunders, the lightnings, the winds have for you, right? There's literally messages everywhere, right? It wasn't just a Pocahontas movie when you're hearing the trees and the wind speaking to us, right? But the indigenous people are more tuned in and tapped in, right? They connect with their ancestors. They're aware that their ancestors are not just gone, but they're back here within the soil, within the animals, within themselves. Many of us are our own ancestors, and we've reincarnated in the same lineage to help move things along. You know what I mean? But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Anyway, 1444 I just saw. I love you. God loves you. Angels surround you. And I'll see you soon, my beloveds. Later.